And let me unmute my microphone first. My name is Justin. This is AI for the Masses. I am continuing my devlog on my game, The Story of Someone. And today is going to be, it's a weekend. I want to see if I can keep it kind of chill, and I'm just going to try and make the game a little bit pretty, add some asset art and maybe clean up some of the UI and things like that. Try not to get too deep into the weeds on this stream. We'll see what happens. I might find myself that I can't help but get involved in some of the more technical mechanics of the game. But let's get the mood going here. Right? Relaxing, chill. I'll turn that down. But that's if you were able to hear that, that was one of the antagonist villain reveal songs that I plan on having in the game. Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit just for a little atmosphere. Yeah, so really all I plan on doing today, I don't plan on this being a really long stream, and for anybody who might be interested in the live streams and my live streams for some of the vibe coding technical stuff, today is I plan more on just taking it easy. Actually, let me go ahead and do this battle here, and I've got some new features. Let me make sure this music isn't too loud. I am talking more than I was necessarily planning. So I can fight. I've added a lot of stats to the player and the creatures, like evasion and accuracy. They're not tuned in any way. I'm gonna see if I can get past this slime without fighting him. And but they exist, and I plan on adding some more features like the ability to attack at range, and my stools and stuff. Yeah, I know one thing. Since I said that I was going to do aesthetics, I'm going to try and get the tiles underneath, like the tables and the stools and the beds, to stop having their placeholder color underneath. I'm gonna do one thing here that gets rid of the skeleton categories of the tiles. It's like for beds, tables. What else? What else has transparent stuff? Beds, stools. I think that's it. We'll see what happens. For beds, tables, and bar stools. The tile color that was displaying the category of the tile from the building sandbox is showing through the transparent tiles. I know that I wanted to have layers. So the floor tile and I would imagine the floor tiles and wall tiles are always the bottom layer. And I plan on having an intermediate layer. Well, I plan on having like a floor and foundation layer, like walls and floors. I plan on having an items layer and also a furniture layer, I think. But sometimes, yeah. So like things that'll sit on the floor, and then things that can sit on top of that furniture. So maybe I can prime the AI and get the code set up for that kind of feature. Let's do, okay, so I want to start thinking about the game assets in layer categories. The bottom layer will include, bottom layer, maybe I'll call it like the ground or the foundation. Let's do that. Foundation layer will include things like the walls, floors, and doors. I feel like I'm not really gonna put anything underneath the doors other than maybe a floor. Maybe I'll put a floor tile underneath a door tile, so that way there can be an open door graphic that the floor tile can, like, you can see through the door and see the tiles underneath. So no, let's not do floor or doors. We'll just do like walls and floors for now. We'll just keep it simple. I can add more later now that I have a category. Oops, the delay on Gemini's typing is really like messing with me here. Believe me, I'm pressing the keys and there's like a solid second delay between me pressing the key and like the cursor moving. The bottom layer, the foundation layer, will include things like walls and floors. Okay. The next layer will be the, do I call it like the furniture layer? We can go with that. Like trying to think, because I also want things like maybe treasure chests to possibly be in that layer, but that's furniture. Okay, I'll just call it the furniture layer. Furniture layer. The next layer will be the furniture layer that can include the bed, tables, bar, stools, I guess the fireplace maybe could have been a floor layer. I don't think I'm ever going to put anything on top of it. Well, I might put wood in the fireplace. We'll go fireplace. Fireplace. I mean, I can put wood on floor layers. I can put items. So, I'm going to put the walls, fireplace, and floors. So, okay, and I'm not going to put the fireplace. Fireplace can't be put on top of other things, and I don't think I'll ever need to see the floor behind the fireplace. So, it's basically also a wall. What else? So, let me see here. We got, feel like, oh, the stage is also, should I make the stage a floor, or should I make it furniture? I feel like it makes sense either way. Let's not get too hung up here. Stage. And potentially the countertop. Although I plan on that being a pretty solid graphic. Yeah, I think I'll put the countertop. Countertop. Okay. And I want collision categories to be a separate category from layer categories. And I think like game engines do that as well. So, and then the third, I'll just talk about the layers first. The third layer will be items that can go on the floor or furniture. I don't currently have any item layers. So I'll just say that. I don't currently have any item layer assets. But please make code to be ready for this new asset layer for in the future. Okay, let's give assets the layer category and separately a walkable category as we have had. And hopefully I'm priming the AI to like kind of bring this concept of the code together in the same file. That's my hope. Or at least in the same like category, like their subdirectory or something. Okay. Okay, for tables as parcels, the tile color that was displayed in the category of the tile building sandbox is shown through the transparent tiles. I want to start thinking about the game assets and layer categories. So now that we have layer categories, I would like to put the floor tile underneath beds, bar stools. What else is there that's shining through here? And tables. And tables. All right. That is my ultimate goal there. So, a little bit of technical stuff, but ultimately, my interest today is to pretty up the game a little bit. I've added a lot of features this week, and I want to reward myself by making the game prettier. So let's see here. I'm going to put everybody to sleep. So then we'll let that cook for a minute. And then the other thing is my pixel art maker. I think it'd be kind of fun. You know what? The first item category I'm going to make is I'm going to make little grass assets that go on the grass. So one thing is that the AI kind of just picked colors for these walkways and the grass. To keep things simple, I'm gonna stay with just plain green, and I'll make like maybe that gravel pathway, but I need it to fit the color pattern. So if we kind of look at the pixel art program and what is currently here, I could tell the AI to go ahead and make the grass this color in the Dawnbringer asset. You know, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to ask the code. I'm going to print maybe somewhere below the color palette. Man, I have a hard time talking there for a second. What the hex code of the color that I choose is. So I have to decide, I think I want the grass to be this dark, the shadow, and then I can draw lighter blades of grass on top. We'll find out. Let's see how this turned out first. Okay, this is a fantastic step toward a more robust and professional rendering. Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, so by introducing the layers, we can solve the transparency issue. Yeah. You know what? Okay, update data structure, render layer. Pass 1, pass 2, pass 3. Okay, so it seems to get my point. Let's just see what happens. So we are doing building generator. Oh, stop doing just the building generator. Actually, the building generator sandbox already worked. In fact, let me double check that. I don't understand why we're... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, and then let's go into building generator sandbox and let's run, because I don't think I had this tile problem in the generator sandbox, and I don't know why. Yeah, see, I'm getting the floor tiles already, and I haven't even made that update. In fact, okay, so I didn't make the last changes. I just realized that the way that the building generator sandbox renders the graphics. Well, okay, hold on. Let me not get ahead of myself, because I do want to add this layering concept. So why don't I just go ahead and let it do its thing. Yeah, let me just go ahead and do this. And so which program was this? And then I'll ask it, okay, now incorporate, if I like how this works, and it's adding in this organization, like foundation, furniture, and item, and I like it, then I'm going to just say, now do this in the main game. I find it to be a little bit I'm a little bit worried about the fact that there seems to be redundancies in my code where I'm doing something in the sandbox and then I seem to have to go ask it to do it again in the game, which makes me think that I don't have elegant code. I feel like that's something that I can fix later, but I don't like it that I keep digging a deeper and deeper hole into there being like redundant stuff going on here. But the building generator sandbox working on its own is good for testing, I think. I'm starting to feel less and less like I need to be so concerned with compartmentalizing my code so much. It feels like things are going pretty well, but maybe I shouldn't get too cocky and just keep going with what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's see. Maybe it is. Okay, now it's outside of the building generator sandbox, so maybe it is not just doing what's inside. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten ahead of myself here. Because this town tile is in the core, which is in the root. So, but we're back in the building generator sandbox again. Sandbox render. So I want the AI to update the renderer in the main game as well. So I wasn't specific enough that I want in the main game. Well, okay, here, town renderer. So it's just doing both. I think it's making sure that everything can communicate, and both in the sandbox and in the game. So it's doing updates to both at the same time. Okay, that's not too bad. At least the AI is getting my intentions here. All right, let's see what happened. Well, I know that. Well, let's make sure the generator, since I'm come this far. Okay, the generator sandbox still works. I got like a fun little pattern here. It's kind of randomly placed tiles that create a pattern for the stage. Trust me, there's no real design like thinking going on here. I'm just making stuff up. Okay, let's go into the town. Ah, yes. Much better. Okay. And now I want to kind of clean up the grounds area here. Make a path, make grass. It's kind of sporadically throw some like little blades of grass and things. So it is drawing time. Let's see here. Well, yeah, this program's so funny. How it'll just draw while it's been minimized. It just cares about the coordinates of my cursor, so I have to be careful about that. All right, First thing is, what is the hex code of this color? And that is in one of my, that's in my other program. So let's pull up. Oh, I didn't save something. Interesting. Hold on. Why is tiered? Where was that? Maybe I can find it up here. Where is tiered probability services? Why was that not saved? And what is the change? It's one of those scary. Oh, I think I know what I did. Okay. And I think what I did, I undid it again. No, wait, hold on. Okay. What? Yeah, okay. I'll worry about that later. It's just the nulling issue. And it's not going to affect anything. The warning will pop up. I'll ask for it to fix it later. Okay, so at least I saved it. So my, yeah, here we go. Okay, so I want to find my color palette. And I think that the shadows, yeah, is this hex code here. So let's just, I'm just going to throw this hex code in. Okay, so I changed my mind. I did like how the AI wanted this. The grass inside the town, but outside the buildings, is not a color that is part of my base color palette. Can you change the grass tile to this hex code? All right. Let's just go with that. It's a small little request. Hey, as anything, the vibe is good. I'm going to try and be chill, a chill vibe today. I'm just going to, I added a lot of features, and if you're interested, I can give you a quick tour of the things that I've added to the game since my last stream. And then today I'm just going to try and like make things a little prettier. So if I go back to the game's code base here, can run the game, you can kind of see what I've been up to. So I added more detailed like stats to the character, the main character's well, the character. So like hit points, attack, and stuff. So I had a conversation with the AI the other night about how primary and secondary stats for a character should work. So like strength should up the attack when you like level up. But I had it where if you level up, you just raise the attack number. But instead, how about I raise the strength number? And then I made, or me and the AI, created equations that will scale the attack and the defense and your ability to dodge and things based on your primary characteristics like endurance and dexterity and strength and constitution and stuff. So that was something that added a little bit more depth to the game. And hopefully the leveling system will be more fun. Made some more art. So have bar stools. The tables now don't have like yellow squares underneath them. The beds now don't have blue squares underneath them. Those are like this. That was like the placeholders for remembering where objects are supposed to be in the town. Yes, chill vibes. I have the air conditioner running on full blast, and I just plan on being cool. So Another little thing is like maybe I can get rid of that collision box at my character's feet. And if we go outside, can't remember if you have seen this yet, but my dungeon has creatures in it. And now you can get into fights with these creatures. So, and then if you watch when I attack, little how many hit points I took off of them gets displayed. When they attack me, it shows how much they hit me for. And I won, and I have it like super OP right now just for testing reasons. So, just testing out my ability, and also where you are relative to the slime when the battle starts. It puts you in the appropriate position in the battle arena screen. So I do want this to be where the game kind of turns into like a tactics based genre when you get into a fight. So you walk around, and again, he's like in the bottom corner. So I can move over, or I can run away, and then the slime will follow me. I can just defend and let him come to me. Defend again. He'll try to attack. I'll attack. I'll hit him for 8. And one more. And there we go. I won the battle. Also made the graphics had better color contrast, so you can tell the difference between the floor and the walls. And yeah, thanks. It's very cool that you can walk from the town through the larger map into a dungeon, then into a fight scene. Yep. It's a pretty satisfying stage to be at, where it's starting to feel like a coherent game, and I can leave, and if I come back in, it should be the same map. Let's double check. Nope, it didn't. Okay, got to fix that. Oh, and so I had 2 bugs. If a room ends up in the top left corner of the map, it doesn't make the corridor for exiting. So that's a bug. And then the dungeon shouldn't change every single time. I'm pretty confident that the dungeon doesn't change when I go into different levels. So as long as the dungeon continues to exist, it will remember the layout of the upper levels as you go deeper in. But looks like it doesn't remember the dungeon after you leave the dungeon. That's fine. I'm still just a testing phase. It might be a bug that's a feature in the long run. Maybe I have a magical dungeon that rearranges itself every time you go in. I do actually plan on having like a dungeon that's like that. Like, I want to have a few different dungeon styles. So this style is rooms with corridors. I plan on having like a dungeon that's one massive labyrinth. One floor, one massive labyrinth, and maybe a central room that you have to try and get to with one path in there. And then there's maybe like a boss in the middle, or a really good item or something like that. And then I also want to have a more organic style of dungeon, like cave style, where there's big open floor plan with like stalactites and various little chambers that the cave kind of closes down into and stuff. So that'll just come with creating different types of procedurally generated algorithms to create different environments. Yeah, if I can have at least 3 dungeons on my minimum viable game, I think that would be pretty satisfying. And if I can have up to maybe like 10 different dungeon environments with my first full version of the game, I think that would be pretty satisfying as well. With some narrative as to why the dungeons are the way they are would be preferred as well. Let's see how hard this update was here. So I don't even remember what I asked it to do. Oh yeah, it was the grass. I'm changing the color of the grass. So core world town tile. So let's close this. Core world town tile. Okay. Oops. And then town renderer. I think those are the only 2 files. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, did that work? I bet you, like, in both of those files, it would change one line. It always gives me the entire file. I have a feeling that Google has probably settled on that most people just want the files fully printed out. Hey, I like that color a lot better. It's so much less gloomy. Okay, but not too high of a contrast. So that's one of the nice things about having like a pre-planned color palette is you want your objects in your background to, like, the unimportant objects and just the general background. The rule of thumb that I have heard is basically you want that to be kind of consistent and muted by comparison to the important things like characters and creatures and points of interest and that kind of stuff. You want those things that you want the player to see to pop more. So I'm slowly integrating my actual color palette into the new graphics. So things like the bar stools and the countertop for the bar, those are on the new color palette. I wonder if I can make this a little. Yeah, there you go. That's a better view. Yeah. And so, oops, gotta go back to the game. And so, will the camera fall? Oh, this is perfect. This is great. But things like the door and the floors are not in the color palette. The beds are also not in the color palette. So I'm gonna slowly migrate to my new official color palette over time. Oh, good. Yeah. The zoom probably, I would imagine, does help. So now I want the color of the road. Okay, that zoom doesn't make it better. I want the road to be this mid-tone, this hex code. So unfortunately, you know what? I'm just gonna make it where I can print out the color palette numbers instead of having to go back and forth between the files here. So let's actually do that. I have two updates I want to do with the pixel art program. So one is when I pick a color from, oh wait, I can't just jump into that. It doesn't know this program. I got to give it the program. All right, let's consolidate. Give me 1 second. I'm on the other screen here trying to get to the pixel art directory. Okay, almost there we go. Okay, and yeah, okay. So here's the pixel art's code. I'll just use the old collaborating rules that I had before. Sorry, as anything. Gave me some new coding instructions for the AI, but it's in a different folder. Actually, wait, hold on. I think I have it right here. Yeah, okay. That wasn't too hard. Stop being lazy. Coding with AI is already lazy enough. All right. Okay, so when I pick a color from the color palette, I would like to see the hex code associated with that color displayed below the color palette. And then also, if I pick the erase or clear tool. Afterward, if I pick a color from the palette, I want the tool to automatically change to the pencil. I've been having just little moments where I like erase some tiles and then I go pick a color and then I ended just erasing more. And I'm like, I meant to draw, so why not get rid of that step? And obviously my brain naturally just is associating clicking the color and going to the pencil tool. So why don't I go ahead and have the program behave that way? All right. How's the music? I don't even know what song's playing. Can't really hear it myself. Let's see. Sci-fi world? What does that sound like? Okay. Play a little bit of music while we're waiting for Gemini to do its thing. Kind of hard for me to tell. I'm looking at the volume levels. It seems like the music's probably not even that loud. Is that true? Can you even hear the music right now? Okay. Like is this a good volume for me to talk over, or was the previous setting actually like a good volume? Or can you even hear that at all at this setting? Feels like you wouldn't. Because I'm like looking at the audio levels on the software encoder. Okay, you can't hear the music anymore. I don't think I can turn the gain physically on my microphone up anymore, so I might just have like not the best microphone. I can't seem to change the gain on my mic anymore. Let's see here. Okay, I can turn it up here. I wonder what this is going to do. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like right up in my face. I can turn the gain up. Let's see what happens if I... Okay, yeah. Right? I know I don't want to keep it too close. I didn't buy the highest quality mic. Okay, so I'm turning up the gain in the software. I'll see if that makes a difference at all, period. And then seems to me that I can probably get away with turning the music up a little bit more, and you should still be able to understand me. I don't know how much the increased microphone gain is actually, how much I'm hearing the effect of my own headset, so I'm having to rely on the visuals of the encoder. But yeah, I'm learning. If you can see in the title of the video, this is day 10 of doing devlog, so it literally is day 10 for me. So I'm still learning the ropes here. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. as anything. Okay, so what did the AI decide on? Let's see, color palette. It's nice to work with a small code base for a change again. I've been my game's getting so big. As anything, what do you feel is like this might sound like kind of a noob question to ask, but like, how many lines in your the code base do you feel is like, whoa, I'm actually getting to like a lot of code here? Like is like a few thousand, like 10,000, 100,000? Like what world of code size do you typically dabble in? Because right now I'm breaking my own personal record, and it's pretty satisfying. All right, main game, kind of big. All right. Okay, let's run this again. Okay, there we go. So, yep, that number looks familiar. Here's the hex code. So I got the hex code. I think if I zoom in on this program, you won't really be able to see it, but let's find out. Yeah, it's in the wrong spot on the zoom there. But right underneath the color palette, it'll display the hex code as I select the colors, which is like super handy. And then if I go to erase and then I click, boom, back to the pencil. So no more awkward fumbling there. Nice. Okay, and now it's updated the app, so I can open this without having to go into VS Code. Perfect. Let's go back to the game, and let's go back to the chat that was associated with the game. Oh, that was it. Oops. Clicked on the wrong one. Tavert assets integrated. So, okay. Cool. All right. Now, if we run the game again. Go into the town. What I want to do is make these paths a little less like skin tone and more dirt and dust tone. So let's pull up. I'm going to do this the organic way. I'm going to pull up my art asset creator. Here, I'll move it down. Yeah, that's how I do it. I just move it down for you guys. That's easy. And I think I want to choose this color for the base dirt of the path between the doors. And then I can throw some accents, some dark pebbles, some light stuff. Yep. Okay, so the line count depends on the nature of the project. You can build a complex app, a few lines if you're importing packages. Oh, that's true. Yeah, definitely the packages is a misleading situation for a metric of how big your code is. If your code base includes code for everything, then it's hard to compare. I'll do a line count in my app and let you know in a minute. I think I'll have fewer than you because I'm offloading a lot of packages. Yeah, chances are. I mean, I definitely have some packages, but not much. A lot of this stuff really is like the AI just brute force writing code for me. So currently, if I consolidate my code, now this does include documentation lines, which aren't many, but it includes all the white space lines too. So since I'm writing in C#, the line count does include the brackets as an entire line. So I don't know, maybe like if you reduce the count by like 70%, that might be closer to the real line count. But I'm pushing 17,000 lines, and for me personally, that's massive. I've never worked with on any project for myself personally that probably went past 1,000 lines, and now I'm 17,000 in. It's just like, the reason why I'm bringing it up is that it's the whole vibe coding thing. like the fact that I feel confident enough to take on a much bigger project, a much more complex problem, because I'm so confident that the AI one can write code that I wouldn't normally be able to write, and also keep it organized and be able to decipher it. So yeah, it's just amazing. Hey, as anything, have you heard of the YouTube channel Machine Learning Street Talk? They go into, I'll type it in here in case you might be missing what I'm talking about. Machine Learning Street Talk. I think that's the name of the channel. They go into really, really deep podcasts, like deep level talks in the podcasts. And they just put out kind of a preview video to their latest interviews with actual like AI engineers and stuff, and they're talking about the kind of what you were mentioning. I mean, I think it's at least adjacent to what you were talking about in one of your streams, which, by the way, check out As Anything Streams. He's very consistent, very regular, and his projects are of a different flavor than mine. I'm games. His is more productivity, and so what they talk about in the podcast is kind of adjacent to what you were talking about, whether or not AI will be able to scale, and they're kind of framing it in the sense of, is AI kind of an imposter in the abilities that it seems to be claiming that it has, and that it's just really good at like mimicry and kind of fooling us into thinking. In the preview version, he does admit that he, in the comments, the guy who runs the channel, that he was being a little bit more negative about his portrayal of this idea than maybe a lot of people would be happy with, because he does say like, no, AI is amazing, but it's interesting that the effects may not be as intelligent and scalable as people might think. So they haven't put out the full like 2.5 hour long podcast yet. They just gave like the 15-minute highlight reel of it. Said they'll put it out in like a day or two. But that's good. I'm definitely gonna check that one out. And as anything, I wanted to make sure that you were aware, because it was like I think it was right up your alley, and I think it'll be interesting to maybe have a discussion on both our streams on that topic if you're interested. Okay, so I'm going to use this hex code D9AA or D9A. Hold on, let's see. For the roads in the town, say mimicry is all we need, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I mean the mimicry's been working great for me so far. I only needed to do what I do at scale. So far, I've been able to scale effectively for my use case. The challenge to scale for me is context. Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. Yeah. Well, maybe we could do like a little tag team stream of I could go on your stream. You could give your 2 cents about what you thought about the podcast, and I could go on mine. I'm not trying to pressure you into watching a super long video, but just the invite's there if you want to further that topic, because it seemed like it was basically the point you were trying to make in one of your streams. And I think it'll be interesting to see how much you agree with what they're talking about, and how much I'll agree with what they're talking about as well, because I was a little bit more defensive, I think, than you were of the, I still think it's got a ways to go. But I think our challenge is, when discussing these topics, is understanding what each of us is even actually saying when we mean it's reached a plateau, it's not going to get better. Like, what does that mean? So, yeah, cool. All right, I'll try to make sure and do my homework, and if I see the post, I'll send you a link in the Discord, and we can do that. And if anybody's watching our streams, join us. I know I'm much less consistent than as anything as far as when I stream, so I apologize ahead of time for that. I'm not quite in a position right now to do it at exactly the same time every day. But if this starts becoming a thing, then I may have to just build some discipline and start streaming at a regular schedule. That sounds familiar. Yeah, the fractured entangled representation hypothesis. I think I remember them throwing those words around. So is the full podcast available? Is that what you're saying? I'll definitely check later to make sure. So yeah, let me do this prompt here for the roads in the town. I would like the base color to be this hex code. D909 alpha 066. Yeah, okay. Let me just press enter on that and get moving. So if I was to, let me draw where you guys can see. I think so. The preview was called AI Doesn't Work the Way You Think It Does, and the full podcast was released a few hours ago. Yep, that sounds about right. Okay, let me go back to the coding camera and let's update these files. So let's turn this off. Okay, core, world, town tile. Oh, just the one. Good. Yeah, could have just... Well, I don't know. Okay, so in my defense, I don't know what the RGB values are for that hex code. So, yeah, kind of needed the AI to do that for me. Anyway. Oh, but wait a second. Now I have... Why do I have an error in the town renderer? What's going on? Why do I have an error? I don't even see where the... there it is. Okay, let's see if it shows up. What is this associated with? Furniture, yeah. Oh, interesting. All right, well, let's get rid of these warnings and these errors then. I got these warnings. And errors. While that's cooking, let's start drawing some... Let's do some grass. So if this is my base color, why don't I go ahead and put that in? And then I can start drawing like little... Oops. See, now I'm already making mistakes here. Maybe I should have it where it goes to pencil even when I'm on fill. No, that might be a little overkill. Okay, so I'm thinking like just simple little blades of grass here and there. Nothing too fancy. And then if I go back to fill, but I need it to be transparent. I don't have a transparent fill. Looks like I got something new to add. Okay, so I can't... Well, okay, I understand what I'm trying to do here. I want to see what little blades of grass look like, and then I'll worry about how to draw after. So do I want it to be that simple? I guess so. I mean, I could also do... Oh, seriously, was I on fill? It's okay. So I could also do this. Add some variety or some depth. Does this even make any sense? No. I mean, I don't know. Plants are plants. I can decide whatever I want the plants to look like. I'm a little bit happier with those. A little bit of color variety. Like stems and little buds or something. Then if I really wanted to, I can actually add flowers. Okay, so if I paste that, but then I start from scratch. So now these are transparent tiles. So if I start drawing plants, like maybe I have like a big flower stem. And I should look up pixel art of flowers, so I'm not just making up my own thing. And maybe that's a flower. So if I just start drawing like blades of grass like I did, maybe have things like that. The idea is that I will paste it on top of just the plain grass and just have it be random. So I can make a lot of these. In fact, I can increase the tile count and just make a lot of random stuff, and then kind of have it maybe like 20% of the time it like scans through all the grass tiles in the town, and 20% of the time it picks one random tile to put into the scene. Maybe I could have some stuff like this. Let's see what it looks like. I'm just gonna make up stuff. I should probably look up some other assets for inspiration, but I'm just gonna experiment. That's what today's about. Not taking anything too seriously and just trying to enjoy being an artist for a day, because I am not an artist. I am an engineer. So I am out of my element, out of my comfort zone. I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. So if I just make up some stuff, see what I like. And then ultimately what I want to do is like, instead of being pure randomness, I would like there to be like a little patch of longer grass that you want the town to visually tell a story about itself. I mean, I know that to be true. And so I would like to create different algorithms that place things in the town in certain ways, that if I tell the story generator for the game, hey, this town has this particular situation that happened, or it has this mood, like it has struggled to grow things because it has bad soil or something, and then it could use an algorithm that has very sparse vegetation and a lot of dirt and a lot of rock. Or if it's a highly fertile land, like all the grass is just really thick, and maybe it even slows down my character as I get closer and closer to the town. The vegetation gets thicker and thicker, and it's hard to walk. And I want some towns to look old, some towns to look fresh, some towns to look spread out, others to be more condensed. And then I want that the algorithm is told to make the town more condensed, then I want the story generator to come up with an explanation as to why, and then put it into the narrative. So, and I'll just brainstorm with the AI on like different ways that I could justify the characteristics of the towns, and then allow the NPCs to talk about their backstory as you interact with them. and then have that backstory get integrated into the main story as to like how their livelihood has been affected by what's going on in the story and stuff. Oh, what you got here? So, little plant emoji. Have you played Dwarf Fortress? I know of it. I haven't played it yet. It sounds like a similar concept of narrative-driven world building. Yes, that is kind of where I'm coming at with the idea that events happen and you kind of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding of this idea of what Dwarf Fortress does and how it's kind of like it's not a story that's like thrown in at you with text. It's a story that unravels because of how you build your world and the people that are the characters that are created in your world and the things that happen to them, get them getting sick and starving and all that kind of stuff. And so if I'm right that is the experience that you're referring to, mine's going to be slightly different, but only slightly, in that the NPCs will actually tell you about the Mac story. And I want the visuals. So the order of events will be the algorithm will create visuals, or the algorithm will be chosen by the code. The code will then send the characteristics of that algorithm to an AI. The AI, the large language model. The large language model will start drafting up story elements based on that information. Send decisions based on what the code is allowed to accept as feedback. Send decisions back to the code. Be like, okay, we decided the story is going to be this, and this. Now, make sure the world is in harmony with those story ideas. Then the algorithm and the code will create the world and then send new, more detailed characteristics back to the large language model. The large language model will then upgrade the narrative, and then it will translate the narrative into actual dialogue, and maybe even maybe a word scroll at the beginning of the game and things like that the NPCs will tell you about their world, and it'll be different every single time. I've already got a prototype proof of concept of this idea working, but I needed to build more of the game and get more of the world to actually exist, so that way I could further the proof of concept of this procedurally generated story RPG, which I don't think has ever existed. And that's where I'm saying I think it's a little bit different than Dwarf Fortress. I'm hoping that I'm right, that I'm actually making something that's unique. I could have been drawing while I was talking. Let's see here. I'm gonna make more Vine. I'm just going crazy here. I don't know what I'm actually doing. And what else? What other kinds of little things might there be? Maybe there's, there could be fruits. Awesome. I'd be interested to see the prototype. No rush, but it'd be fun to play your game while watching you make it. Yes, that is a goal I have. If you're already volunteering to one day be a beta tester, then I will take you up on that offer. Definitely. And I do want to put out a playable version once I feel like it's gotten to the point where it might be at least semi-fun. Actually, had my wife play it a little bit today, and I already saw there was some clunkiness to the controls that I am I know how it works, and she's like, why isn't it attacking? It's like, oh, because you have to press the attack button twice. Yeah, that's silly. Let me get rid of that. So there were just some legacy things going on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a patch of dirt that just sits. That's fun. I'm just gonna draw a blob here. So then should it get darker in the middle or darker. Yeah, I feel like maybe if it's like a puddle, it should. This orange, this next tone just feels so extreme and like high contrast to me. But I'm gonna trust the process here. Supposedly this color palette is legit. And then this just looks like it could be like a straight up hole. Like this looks dangerous. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a perspective shift. Like I'm looking at it kind of from the front. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just playing around. I'm trying not to take things too seriously today. Maybe I could do... It gets so deep that you can't see anymore. What does that look like when I paste it? Okay, actually, it's kind of scary looking. Huh. I'm not upset about that. Maybe just a little bit of green grass layer that's more fresh and alive. And then it'll go to the other. See, that's why it's nice that I know that this color over here, it might be too bright of a transition. Let me do the darker tone that's only one spot away. Oh, I have a fill tool. Use it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna see what that looks like. Like I said, try not to take things seriously. I'm just playing around. All right. What else? Has anything? You got any ideas of like what kind of little vegetations could just be sporadically around the town? Got anything to add? Taking suggestions from the audience. Maybe I could just make like some flowers. So I do like stems, and then maybe what would be if it was a blue flower? Well, okay, then it's just a blue flower, like that. Yeah, right. A little patch of flowers. Yeah, we were on the same page. So, and maybe there's another flower that's just behind this one. And it is a lighter hue of a similar type. Maybe I could add some leaves, little leaf buds. And what color should this flower be? Let's make it more of a purple. And it's kind of going off to the side like that. Dog poop? Well, first I gotta have a dog. I'm not against the dog poop, but where'd it come from? If the only thing I have are people, I don't think the first conclusion people are gonna come to that poop came from a dog. So there's the first problem. All right. I like this flowers idea. I'm going to see. I don't want to get too complicated, but I feel like the flowers, maybe what I need to do later, not now, but later, is create smaller tile sets that are like 1/4 the size and just have like various flowers. Even better, coming up with a way to procedurally generate flowers. Oh, just a stick on the ground, a stack of firewood, just branch. Yeah, right? Oh boy, scope creep is coming. We're going to have all kinds of stuff that I'm drawing today, and it's just going to get out of control. All right. Let's see. What are those flowers? Are they? Yeah, it's like little flowers. Okay, I'm just gonna a garden gnome. Oh my goodness. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying like I am not an artist. I liked the just a branch. I was down for that. Just a stick. Surely I could draw a stick. Now we're doing garden gnomes. Let's see how well I can do like a simple log. Okay, so I feel like I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going to look up pixel art log just to get a little bit of inspiration. Okay. See, one thing is I got to start figuring out what my style is. All twigs, twigs everywhere. just again, it's like, oh, burnt out campfire. That'd be cool. Yeah, I definitely want to have like little things like that. I mean, I want to have a farm, you know. I want to have basically kind of like what you've been building in your little Minecraft thing, you know. I want to have farms and farmland and livestock, you know. So I don't know how far I'll go with this kind of detail in the beginnings, but like let's say I end up getting to the point where I get enough traction and interest in the game that I have like a successful Kickstarter. I will definitely hire an artist if you know if it calls for it. Not to say that I can't draw my own stuff, but you know, you gotta be careful like what you spend your time doing. So yeah, let's say this is my general shape of the log, and then this is like the front, the chopped off front. Okay, and then down here is like in the shadow, and up here is nope, too much. Up here is kind of in the light. I don't like that color. It's so orange, like out of nowhere. I gotta double check the Dawnbringer color palette and make sure this guy is. I feel like he's not in the right spot. Okay, so assuming that color is in the wrong spot, let me make this one lighter, and let me go to this color here. That feels too extreme. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like again, like my artistic skills are nearly zero, so I'm learning. You're watching me learn as I go in real time. Oops. And there you go. And now I'm done, because I don't have an undo for this yet. All right, starting over. So if I have the front of the log, oops. Okay, I like that. Then I still think that there should be kind of a shadow at the bottom. And let's clean up the edge. I don't know, how log-like does that look? So this is interesting. Very interesting process here. I don't know, maybe I do need to use the lighter color. I'm kind of drawn over what I did here. And what if the log? No, that's not bark colored enough. So that's not going to work as the main body. I'll finish drawing it, but I want to make the log a little longer. And then I'll fill the more bark colored. And then I was thinking that maybe here I could okay, it's getting a little better. And then what? There's like a knot. This is horrible. My reference drawings are not the best. Oh, this one's not too bad. And then what if there's like a little plant growing out? You know what? I'm gonna go with it. Wish I had a little bit better shading. Let me just try and do a little shadow under at the bottom here, maybe along the back. I wish I had a lighter tone, but I feel like this is too extreme. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, whatever. Very blocky. Hold on. Let's get this corner off of here. Dithering is another concept. So sometimes you don't want connected tones. You want to spread them around. Yeah, not great, but it's not. I'm not like upset or embarrassed. This is just me playing around. Yeah, that's a log. That'll do. Why not? All right, one more. What's twigs, garden gnome, just a branch, burnt out campfire. Let's see if I can do a burnt out campfire. So that would, I have to start getting some ash involved. Let's see. So do we start with like a pile of ash? Is that how this would work? And then do we have like, boy, this is tough. I mean, I could do the, okay, I'm just kind of free handing here. Like, could have the pile of sticks that were stacked, and maybe they're mostly burnt up. And maybe I go with a darker ash. I have no idea if this is going to look like a campfire against that grassy background. What do you think? Let's see how that looks. I don't know if you can tell what that is at all. Like, if I told you it was a burnt out campfire, you probably could be like, if I squint. But if I was to just give you that image, you could probably come up with, like, if I asked 100 people, they'd probably come up with 100 different answers. All right, I'm just gonna let's see what. This I can't keep this. Well, I can because it has the same background color. All right, I'm not gonna mess with that. Let's go ahead and let's save this. Is this where I want to save? I think so. Yeah. So we'll go grassy. How about grass top layer? So this is just for the project, and then I can export. Oh yeah, okay, you can see. I can export the entire sheet. Town grass. PNG export. And there it is. Okay, so yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks. It looks like a campfire. You're right. I feel like I am bouncing back and forth between 3D perspective and just like top down. I'm super inconsistent right now. I mean, my town is so insanely top down where you can only see the top of the table and like the tops of the beds more or less. And then if the beds are rotated, you don't see them from a different perspective. It's just the image is just rotated 90 degrees. And then my walls, it's looking like you're looking at the side of the wall, when really I would like it where you can see like you're looking at the tops and the sides. So all of this is definitely placeholder art. I don't know what I'm doing artistically yet by any means. And I hope to get a good, I think it's like an orthographic view, I think is where the style of graphics that I eventually am leaning towards. But I'm trying not to get myself too distracted and get the game working first. So this is interesting process for sure. Okay, services. Where are you at? There it is. Yep, just got to get to beta. Yeah, I don't know if it's isometric or orthographic. I think it's orthographic is the term. I'm trying to remember now. And I think isometric is a term, but I think I want orthographic. Where I think, I have to look it up. I think like the old Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. I think that is the perspective I'm looking to do. Stardew Valley, I think, also has the perspective that I want. And I can't remember if it's isometric or orthographic. Could be a third one I'm not even saying. I've only scratched the surface on studying that stuff. Okay, then graphics, town renderer. Okay, good. Yep, there was already an error there. So this will hopefully fix that. Is this the only one? I don't think so. Okay. Oh, game.cs. The file's getting so big. How big is this file now? Huge. 563. Okay, at least we're still below 600. Okay. Let's make sure that this works. I don't even remember what I was working on that I was wanting to test. What was it? I think it was just, yeah, I don't remember. Okay. Yeah, what is it that's going on here? So, tiered probability service is an ambiguous reference. Uh-oh. Actually, I don't think this is going to be a big problem. The problem is that I'm not seeing this error in the file. Oh, because it's in fight context. I'm not reading the error properly. Orthographic. Mario Brothers, Tetris, Street Fighter, Celeste. Okay, yeah. No. Isometric. Diablo, Age of Empires, SimCity 2000, Final Fantasy Tactics, Hades. Okay, so it's neither one. It's something else. You know, I have it in my notebook LM. Hold on. I mean, I definitely want top down. And then I think there's a more official term. Oh, 3/4. I think the more technical term is 3/4 view. Let me double check. 3. Where is the 3/4 pixel art? Yeah, 3/4 is what I'm like. All the image searching I'm looking for is showing 3/4. Actually, I'll just do it here. 3/4. Yeah, pixel art. Yeah, just stuff like this. Yeah, this is more like Zelda style. Like I want my town to look more like this, where you can see the outside of the building, but then when you enter, you'll see the interior. I want my terrain and my dungeons to kind of have this kind of a feel. I don't think I'm gonna have multiple levels, being able to go up to a higher altitude. But this is the vision I have. Yeah, this is the direction I'm trying to get to. Okay. Oh, I have a redundant file. Okay, hold on. Did not know that. In this case, you have tiered probability service in both the main project services and the Fight Arena Sandbox project. The correct approach is to have the fight context, which is based on sandbox code, exclusively use the version from his own sandbox. We'll also fix the null reference warning. Okay, delete the redundant file. The root cause. Okay, where? Which one? Main project service folder is redundant. Please delete these. Okay, so this one you want me to get rid of, huh? All right. Is that the right one? So, story of someone, services. Okay. And then update fight context. So, game states, fight context. Oh, such a big file. I think I need to refactor fight context since the game state folder isn't very big. Why not? Well, that doesn't look better. That looks horrible. Wait, you guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? Hold on a second. No, you kind of can see what I'm doing. You're not seeing that. Seriously? That didn't help. Alright, there's probably something at the top here. What is happening? Yeah, no, you don't care about that. So is it this guy? Man, this is a train wreck update. What's going on here? Did you not give me the entire file? So I'm copying and pasting like 80% of a file or something. Doesn't look like it. Okay, this one's weird. It's like it's seeing nothing. None. It's not connected to anything at all. Oh, and game.cs is just terrible too. Wait. What's going on here? Did I paste into the wrong? Okay, yeah. I think I know what happened. I think I scrolled past because of the laggy. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay. They're gonna clean up. Still got an error. What's going on? Yeah, see? Tiered probability services. So you're telling me to get rid of the tiered probability services. Oh no, but it's in Fight Arena Sandbox. So I think I need to... It needs to be brought back. Services? No, it's right there. Okay, I think I might know what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and let the terminal inform. Got a new error. I have a feeling it's gonna be a simple fix. All right. Then, once I get this figured out, I will throw those plants in there. We'll see what it looks like. All right, what do we got? So, found next logical error. Pytorina.services doesn't exist. Well, I mean, it does. It's right there. And it's correct. No, it's not. No, it's not correct that it doesn't exist. I'm looking at it. I'm going to have to, I think, when we created the alias, I mistakenly included .services based on the file path, but the class tiered probably services actually declared directly inside. No, it's not. No, it is not. And that error feels like it's wrong. So something is up. Because services is sitting right here in my face. Now, is there a typo? I find it really crazy to think that there would be a typo because the AI knows what my file tree looks like. All right, am I going to sacrifice another 200,000 tokens to give it my full code base again? This happened before, though. I'm actually kind of surprised that this keeps happening. Okay, so for fight context, you want me to make this update. You know, what's weird is this is probably going to work, and I don't understand why. So we're going to get rid of this reference, I think. Oh, because we don't need to solve the ambiguity anymore. I think that's why. Yeah, okay. Because there isn't redundant files. So the AI got confused, fixed its confusion, but then didn't completely commit to fixing the confusion. Because look, I think everything except for that one null warning is gone. Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. The boxes underneath the furniture is back. Killing me. All right, well, at least this knows about this idea. The floor tiles are missing from underneath the beds and tables, etc. You know what I'm talking about. So put them back. Another thing I'd like to add is instead of pink boxes running around, actually making a few people. But I think it would be fun if I could have procedurally generated people. Just simple little things where I make where I have people with different head shapes, body heights, leg lengths, skin tones, hair colors. Just every single time the game is run, it just makes a little pixel art of some characters. Okay, are we actually at the last one? No. Okay. You've spotted an excellent detail. Yeah, you what did you do? Okay, town renderer. I like how the AI compliments you as if I'm going to forget that you're You were the one who changed the code. It was working earlier. All right, where is this town renderer? Is this in the bummer? Gotta scroll back to the top again. Graphics. Okay, we're back to the nice clean look. Okay, nice. The dirt road is more in harmony with the color palette now. I think the grass reverted back. Come on, man. Killing me, Smalls. All right, I'm just... Which file? I feel like you can't quite see everything here. Hold on a second. There, that's a little better. Okay. Which file has the hex codes for the grass and the road? And just answer my question. You don't have to write code. I already forget. I think it's in tile. Let's see here. I don't think it's tile render. We haven't touched that in a long time. Okay, yeah. Okay, world core, world, town tile. Dark green for unassigned grass. Okay, I want the... Oh, okay. I understand what's going on. Okay, the unassigned grass should be hex code. Let's make sure. I think I wanted this, right? That doesn't feel like that's the one I selected before. Oh, the program's frozen. Yeah, for some reason it times out. Okay, come on. Okay. So it's, which one did I settle on? 4B. Should be 4B 69 4B 69 2F. What is the RGB value for that? I will change it myself. And I probably wonder, did I change it myself? No, I didn't before. But if I don't, if the AI doesn't make the change and give it to me, then when it decides to change that file in the future, it won't know that I changed it. So I would have to give it that file again. And that's what I'll do. Okay. Okay, 75. 105 and 47. All right, I'm just going to run it and see if that looks like the right color. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and I already kind of feel like the general feeling of the town looks a little bit more cohesive, if that's the right word. It just feels a little bit more pleasing to the eye. All right. Oh, does that mean now I know where the edge of the town is? Yes, thank you. Okay, kind of. It booted me a little quicker than I was expecting. So the edge of the town is actually probably right about here. No, it keeps going. Oh. Okay. Interesting. All right, I want to throw my new stuff. So I made the change. Let me give the AI my updated file so it knows that I actually made the edit. So town tile, core, world, and then town tile. Okay. Then, as an item layer, I would like to place assets from and what is the name of my art asset that I just made? I already forgot. It's grass something. Town grass. To place assets from the town grass.png tile set. The art from the tiles should be placed randomly throughout the town over only the grass tiles that are technically the empty tiles in town tile.cs. So I don't like this. I want this. I don't want these to be the empty tiles. I want them to be grass tiles. Let's rename and classify the empty tiles as grass tiles and make them in the ground layer category. So I had already made earlier these different categories of 3 different layers: ground, furniture, and items. So now I want the grass. I want the grass and the road. I should probably also add the road. Is the road in here? So outdoor path. The outdoor path should also be part of the ground category. Okay, now that we've established it's the ground category, I want town grass to also be in the ground category, but let's make it a second layer ground category. I want to make I want to put the town grass tiles over the grass tiles in the town. Let's make a ground upper layer between the ground layer and the furniture layer. Let's rename the ground layer ground bottom. So at least the ground can have like some categories there too. Okay. The tile set is 4 horizontal and 2 vertical tiles. So I'm going to have it where the top row is pasted like 20% of the time, and the bottom row is pasted like 1% of the time. So I'm going to have like weighted probability, because I feel like these bottom row are like bigger, more rare objects. So I want the top row of the town grass tile set to be randomly, okay, I want to be chosen for placement 20% of the time as the renderer scans for grass tiles. The choice of which of the 4 top row tiles gets placed is random. Did that make sense? Yeah. The bottom row of tiles should be selected 1% of the time. Also, which tile in the bottom row is chosen is random. So hopefully I won't get too many logs and too many burnt out campfires. I feel like there was one other thing that the dimensions of the actual PNG. I need to tell it how many pixels this is. So the dimensions, the PNG are 512 by 256 pixels. All right, that should do it. I'm excited to see if the town will look a little bit more interesting with some grass and things in it. And I think this is the last thing that I will be doing on this stream today. As anything, how is the weather where you are? Today was very sunny, and I should have gone outside, but I didn't. Okay, so we got the town tile. Default is now grass. Okay, that's not exactly what I meant, but yeah, whatever. Okay, and then services, town layout. Okay, and then graphics, town renderer. I think it said there were only 3 things, so that should be it. Okay. All right, come on, fingers crossed. Oh, got an error. Okay. Yep. Gemini forgot to update file. Town layout generator. What are you saying? Town layout core world. Town layout. Oh, empty. Oh yeah, that should be grass now. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's ship the game. It's ready. I'm not changing it. Okay. Let's the town grass assets are jumping around the map randomly. They should be placed once and stay where they are placed. How do I express this? Placed like all the other like building assets in the scene. I mean, like, yeah. I think it should get the idea. Like, oh, I mean, it's a neat effect. I wonder how many of these holes and things are actually being generated. I see a lot of the holes, and I'm seeing campfires. I may have to reduce the percentage down to like 0.1%. The position variables are being redefined on every render. They need to be defined outside the function that runs each time. If that makes sense. Oh yeah. Yep. I just don't know where that is, so I'm gonna let it. I mean, maybe you're telling me that's the prompt I should put in, right? Yeah. Let's see if it gets it. So town tile. Okay. Well, first let me read it's understand. The random placement logic for the grass details is happening inside the render loop. Sounds like something has anything just said, which means a new random decision is made every single frame, causing sprites to jump around. Okay, so it looks like it does get the idea. So town tile. And then it's interesting that I have to change multiple files. I would have expected that there's just like one place where one line is inside of a loop and then you take it out of that loop, but whatever. And then town renderer. There we go. Okay. Cool. I think I could make it. I think I should make the tile set a lot more, and then and I can just create variety. And I gotta, instead of it just being pure random, I could like maybe do some sort of like a wave function collapse kind of process or something where there's like patches of grass and then empty areas of grass and things like that. That'll all come in time. I might reduce the frequency of how many times things are being placed, but this is definitely adding some life to the town. So cool. And I gotta do other things, like since I have it as a separate layer, a lot of people when they make these kinds of cozy games and stuff, they'll have it where the grass like sways or wiggles when you walk past it and stuff. So all in due time. Let's put everybody to bed, and then I'm gonna call it a successful stream. Can make some gravel for the roads. So I'm thinking that I have to make a decision on where what I'm going to focus on. I think I'm going to focus for this coming week maybe on two things. One being the item generation for the stores and that logic. So that way the player can have fun actually shopping and buying things based on the scale of that item's abilities. And also, I want to start upgrading some of the animations. I want to throw in I want to get the procedural animations for the slimes and the player kind of working. So that might be this coming week's plan. Yeah, the plans add a lot of ambiance. I agree. I think that my, shooting from the hip, just trying something out, it was a step forward, not a step back. So cool. I'm glad that it actually worked out pretty well. I think I could maybe add just a small, subtle texture to the general grass tile, and then these extra layers will just add some extra complexity. But I have to be really, really subtle, I think, with the base grass tile. And maybe makes like 4 tiles that are just barely different from each other with just like 2 colors that aren't too high of contrast to create a grassy look. But otherwise, yeah, this is coming along. All right, that was a fun low stakes stream of just trying to make things a little bit more cozy and pretty and pleasant to look at. As anything, thanks for hanging out for this one. I appreciate having the audience member, and anybody who is sticking around this long, make sure you check out As Anything's channel. You could definitely, I think you can learn a lot more technical stuff from him. Me, I'm doing this personal experiment. This is I'm hardcore vibe coding. As Anything gets more into the weeds and gets very more technical stuff, a higher educational value, I think. Thank you, W, for the Steam, and I'm gonna check out that podcast now too. So hopefully this week, me and As Anything will have a little bit of a follow up on what we thought about that podcast. But don't count on it too immediate, because that's like a 2.5 hour video. Might take me a few sittings to get through it. All right, that I'll conclude with there. My name's Justin. This is AI for the Masses. This is me vibe coding my indie game, The Story of Someone, and I will see everybody in the next stream.